They called me the family disappointment. Right up until the night their empire became mine. The crystal atrium of the Meridian Grand glowed under 1,000 crystal droplets, every table drowning in orchids that cost more than most people's rent. My parents' 35th wedding anniversary had drawn the usual circus: old money tycoons, politicians who smiled like they were being paid for it, and enough champagne to float a yacht. I slipped through the crowd in a charcoal silk gown so understated it practically whispered, "Ignore me." That was the point. Across the room, my older brother Ethan held court like a king accepting tribute. Laughter exploded around him as he recounted the masterstroke of acquiring Pinnacle Cyber last month. Same Ethan who, 10 years earlier, had laughed in my face when I said I was dropping out of the family conglomerate to play with computers. "Ilara, sweetheart, you actually showed up." Mother's perfume arrived before she did. The air kiss was cool and precise, practiced. Her eyes flicked down. "That dress is restrained. Pity. Tonight called for something with presence." I smiled the small, dangerous smile I'd perfected over years of being invisible. "Happy anniversary, Mom." I handed her a slim velvet box containing a single platinum cuff, elegant, understated, worth more than the diamond tennis bracelet she'd just unwrapped from Ethan. Father joined us, tumbler of single malt in hand. "Still tinkering in that garage startup of yours, Ilara?" "It's doing fine, Dad." Ethan materialized, cuffs flashing under the lights. "New paycheck, Philippe." "Again." "Fine. That's the word people use when the bank account is on life support." "How many people do you have now?" 12. 15. "Enough," I said softly. He snorted, turning to our parents. "While I'm signing 9-figure deals and dragging the Hawthorne Group into the future, little sister is still cosplaying as a tech founder. Cute." Mother touched my wrist in that pitying way she'd mastered. "You know there's always a desk waiting at Hawthorne, darling. We could find you something comfortable. Client relations, perhaps?" Before I could answer, Ethan's phone lit up his face like a spotlight. "Speaking of the future, check this out. We just closed Pinnacle Cyber. 280 million. My call, my negotiation. Pinnacle's quantum encryption patents are going to make us untouchable." I sipped my drink, letting the bubbles burn my tongue. "Congratulations. Bold move." He missed the irony completely. I glanced at my watch. 3 minutes. Father leaned in. "Tell them the best part, son. With Pinnacle's contracts, we're launching our own cybersecurity platform next quarter. No more of these scrappy upstarts eating our lunch." Ethan shot me a smug look. "Exactly. Time to stop playing in the kiddie pool, Ilara. If your little company is really struggling, I might toss you a few consulting gigs. Family discount." My clutch buzzed once. Twice. I excused myself with polite regret and stepped behind a marble pillar. The caller ID read, "Lin Wei, General Counsel." I answered on speaker, loud enough. "Ms. Vale." Lin's crisp voice carried across the sudden hush that had fallen nearby. "The final signatures cleared 20 minutes ago. You now control 58% of Hawthorne Group voting shares. The merger is complete." A woman nearby gasped. A champagne flute hit the floor and exploded like a gunshot. Ethan's head whipped around. Mother froze mid-sentence. Father's glass trembled. I kept my voice level. "Thank you, Lin. Emergency board meeting is still set for 8 tomorrow? Confirmed. Press release is queued. Congratulations, M." I ended the call. Silence stretched, brittle and electric. Then every phone in the room began to chime, news alerts, market tickers, social media panic. Ethan lunged for his device, scrolling with shaking thumbs. "No. No way. We monitor every major shareholder. We would have seen." "Would you?" I asked quietly. "The same way you saw Pinnacle's patents were already 2 generations behind the curve? The same way you missed that their 3 largest enterprise clients had quietly switched providers 18 months ago?" Father's face drained of color. "Shell corporations, staggered purchases, 19 months. 19 and change," I corrected. Mother sank onto a velvet chair, hand pressed to her chest. "Your company." Horizon Shield. You said it was still small. It was. Once. I let the name land like a blade. Current valuation, $9.4 billion. Global leader in next-generation behavioral AI threat detection. Asia, Middle East, most of Europe. We stopped being small while you were busy mocking me. Ethan's mouth worked soundlessly. Then, you baited us into buying Pinnacle. You knew it was a corpse. I tilted my head. Due diligence is a beautiful thing, brother. Shame you were too busy collecting watches to notice the bleeding clients. Guests were filming now. Whispers became murmurs, became a low roar. Father tried to rally. Ilara, we're blood. Let's sit down. Restructure this reasonably. Keep it in the family. I laughed, a soft, genuine sound. That's exactly what I'm doing, Dad. Just not the way you scripted it. The massive overhead screens, meant for a nostalgic slideshow of my parents' marriage, flicked to live newsfeeds instead. There I was. Professional portrait. Headline blazing, Horizon Shield acquires Hawthorne Group IN $7.2 billion blockbuster, Ilara Vale to assume control. Ethan staggered. 7.2. Where the hell did you get that capital? I met his eyes. Remember when you called my early blockchain investments hippie internet money and said I'd lose my shirt? That hippie money became the foundation. The rest? I shrugged. Turns out betting on the future pays better than betting on the past. A cluster of board members approached, led by Margaret Klein, 32 years on the board. She nodded at me with crisp respect, ignoring Ethan's outstretched hand entirely. The projections you presented last month were compelling, Ms. Vale. The board looks forward to tomorrow. Thank you, Margaret. And it's Ilara. Father stepped forward one last time, voice low. We can still salvage this. Together. I considered him for a long moment, the man who once told me coding was a man's game and that I should find a nice husband instead. All those years you dismissed me. I said gently. You gave me the greatest gift in business, the freedom to build in the shadows while you posed in the spotlight. I turned to the room. Please, enjoy the evening. It's still my parents' anniversary, and apparently the start of something new. I raised my glass. To family. And to vision. As reluctant conversations restarted around us, I gathered my things. Ethan's voice cracked behind me. You can't just demote me. I built half those relationships. The same ones that have been hemorrhaging for 22 months straight. I glanced back. You'll have a new role brief tomorrow. Something more, sales-oriented. Suits your talents. I walked toward the exit. Margaret matched my stride. Brilliant timing, Ilara. Letting them crow about Pinnacle today was masterful. I pushed through the heavy glass doors into cool night air. Sometimes you have to let someone win the battle so they never see the war coming. My matte black Rivian waited at the curb. As the door closed behind me, my earpiece came alive. Ms. Vale, Tokyo is standing by. Also, I've blocked next Thursday evening for a family strategy session as requested. Good, I said, watching the glittering building shrink in the rear view. It's time we talked business. Properly. Through the window I caught Ethan's silhouette, still staring out. Anger. Shock. And, buried deep beneath it all, the very first flicker of respect. He'd learn. They all would. Never underestimate the one they call disappointing. She might just buy the whole damn kingdom.